Well, good Saturday afternoon, everyone. We've had some reports of wind damage in the Hobbs Island Road area near New Hope and then up to Owens Crossroads. We believe there was probably a microburst of 60, maybe 70 miles per hour. So far, no reports of any injuries with that. The storms you see behind me here on radar just continue to pound areas that got hit hard yesterday. We're talking about very intense lightning, so we're likely going to get some homes hit by lightning with these storms, kind of like what we had yesterday. And we're also dealing with very heavy rain. We've had some small hail reports, but the microburst wind damage threat is pretty much over with that storm. And we'll go back and take a look at it. Let a few more of you get on here, have my afternoon cup of coffee here as well. But again, not much going on out west in Florence. We do have that one little shower. I say little shower, it's a heavy downpour near Killen, and that continues to move to the east. So let's go forward here and track some of these storms for you. Jeff DeNoyers was down there on Lake Gunnersville. He said he was surprised at the number of people who were still out on jet skis and boats as that severe thunderstorm moved in. Here is the storm that moved through New Hope and near Owens Crossroads. And I've gone back and looked at the data, and everything just indicates a microburst wind occurred there. As we take a look at the velocity, of course, people may initially think, you know, we've had a tornado, but that's not going to be the case. It's not a tornado producing day. You can see a lot of the storm likely just collapsed here on approach here to Owens Crossroads, Hobbs Island area. Again, our damage reports are coming in from right in here. And as we go forward in time here, what likely has happened is the storm sent out a microburst. So as you take a look, this is winds basically going in this fashion here, and it's likely it all pretty much went down. So you have a big rush of air racing down to the ground, spreading out, and as it spreads out, it swirls a little bit. It swirls in the horizontal direction, and that's most likely what's happened there is a downburst, probably 60 or 70 miles per hour. But again, that's back to about 2:30 this afternoon. And sometimes you can see in the reflectivity the bowing out, and I think that, yeah, that's probably what has happened there. And then it's gone. So that's the problem with the microburst type winds, is you just can't see them happening unless you're looking three-dimensionally at the radar all the time. We always know there's a possibility, and that's why we say isolated damaging wind gusts a possibility. In that isolated area, it just happened to be Owens Crossroads, New Hope on Hobbs Island Road. I've seen some of those photos. They're waiting to get permission to share them. So let's put the lightning back on here. Newmarket, this storm's been very electrical up here, just south of Huntland. The other thing that's going on, look at this boundary that's sliding south of High Top. That's likely enhancing some of the updrafts in here, but it's also forcing that thunderstorm that's moving towards High Top to ingest some slightly cooler air, which may aid in weakening that storm, but still very heavy lightning going on within that storm and the possibility of some isolated damaging winds. Very intense lightning as well going on in north of Scottsboro near Hollywood and Stevenson. Quickly take a look at the winds in there. I think what we're seeing is kind of what we saw yesterday with the winds racing out ahead of the lightning. So the main updraft is leaving this, it's back here behind near Hollywood where all these lightning strikes are, and the high wind is racing over here towards Henniger and Eider. Again, we're not looking at a tornado threat, but you know, you can have some damaging winds. It does quite a bit of damage. So we're seeing a large area of wind here coming from Dutton up to Shiloh, north of Henniger. You got Rosalie and Pisgah now. Very intense wind moving through there. Let me know what you guys got going on over there. Yeah, I know. I think you're going to get some. I'll get over to Killen in just a second. You guys have a dome out west, that's for sure. Checking some of these other reports here. Yeah, a lot of this Huntsville was 565 and south. Check the Weather Service chat. Okay, they're beginning discussion with the National Weather Service is beginning discussion with the Storm Prediction Center about a possible severe thunderstorm watch coming out. Let me see where that might be. Oh, they've now upgraded us to slight risk for severe weather today too. So that's a change. Mainly the northeast corner of the state, though. I'll get you back to the normal radar here. But again, Rosalie and Pisgah, we're seeing quite a bit of wind coming through there. And then over here, it's just south of Killen, though. It basically skipped Muscle Shoals there, and then this one's refiring on the southwest side of Killen. This is going to be moving towards Lucy's Branch, it looks like, if it holds together. We'll have to watch that because lightning would be the biggest threat from that. So let's get back over here where most of the action is right now. If they put out a watch, I mean, it should be fairly short term for mainly northeast Alabama. Okay, I'm reading that discussion now. Yeah, the watch will probably be, they might include Huntsville down to Coleman over into Georgia. But I think the threat's probably over in Huntsville, but we'll see. This stuff was back building like 2 weeks ago, and even last night it really started back building over Gunnersville. But this does not appear to be severe. That's that warning has been canceled. But we're starting to watch this flare up east of Gunnersville now. I've got this loop going an hour. I'm just wanting to go 15 minutes or so. So Scottsboro, it's all east and northeast of you up towards Stevenson. Rough drive, though, on 72 with the high wind moving towards Henniger. And in Rainsville, it's just raining there with the heavy lightning down to just to the east of Albertville, moving towards Crossville. Holly Pond, just south of Arab, very heavy rain there. Thanks. Ray, any estimate on the wind speed there? The trees kind of bending? Okay. Weather Service clarifying that may not result in a watch, but again, I mean, it really doesn't matter if they put you under a watch because you're already under warnings over here. How is Albertville? Let's take a look. Well, most of that activity is east of you. As I put this into motion, we're going to watch this area probably with the more intense lightning near Holly Pond. It's going to track probably south of Albertville, close to Douglas. That's Highway 79, moving into southern Marshall County, then perhaps Boaz. Hartselle, a little shower on top of you right now. And see what's happening here in East Limestone and near Athens. As this shower is trying to develop, it's running into the rain-cooled air that's over Harvest. I say rain-cooled, it's still very muggy. I just left Harvest about an hour ago myself. It's been a really difficult forecast the last few days because yesterday the model guidance had the stuff this morning and then nothing this afternoon. And overall, it's pretty much a repeat, almost exactly what happened yesterday. Let me check out Boaz here on probably northeast of Boaz. Probably getting a lot of that lightning. That's moving towards Crossville. Fife, there's some strong gusty winds there. And notice how the wind's picking up here, moving into Eider. So again, I would seek shelter indoors from this thunderstorm here. I saw this yesterday. This is right over Rosalie. And the wind's probably close to 50 miles per hour, maybe even higher, 55 mile an hour. Again, this is moving towards Eider. I believe that's Beatty Crossroads. So, a lot of wind here. Let me track that. Let me put that into motion. It's moving east. It's just kind of right on top of the mountain. at about 25 mile an hour. So we get Eider around 337, Henniger 337, Beatty Crossroads 341. I've been out for an hour or so. So that's some really strong wind. You're going to see some isolated tree damage, things like that with that. Let me check Jackson County power outages here. Currently, it says 284 customers without power, most of these in the Skyline area. Also have some west of Bridgeport. And then down into Marshall County, getting north of the Honeycomb Campground area. Southeast of New Hope, power outages there. So let me go back to the rain. Gusty winds here just south of Rainsville near Fife. So all this area, there's no severe thunderstorm warning, but these are strong gusty winds from Fife to Geraldine to Crossville. Also intense lightning moving into Crossville. Overall weakening trend here in northern Jackson County and even northern DeKalb County, but there's still a lot of wind going on in these areas. And the wind looks like it may be picking up over here. Get south of Lacey Spring near Morgan City. Definitely an increase in the wind there. And this appears to be kind of close to some of the same areas, probably a little bit farther south in New Hope where you had that stronger thunderstorm there. But this is tracking east. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. There's been a lot of rain over Marshall County, so that may weaken things a bit. Check the weather service again. And they just put out a strong thunderstorm advisor for that. Radar tracking a strong thunderstorm near Morgan City, 8 miles northwest of Arab, moving east at 30. Wind gust to 40 possible. Could impact Gunnersville, Grant, Morgan City, Union Grove, Columbus City, and the Lake Gunnersville State Park over time. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for eastern Jackson and northern DeKalb County. Severe storm located 7 miles northwest of Eider, 11 miles south of Bridgeport, moving east at 25, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. Locations impacted could include Fort Payne, Rainsville, Bridgeport, Henniger, Stevenson, Sylvania, Hollywood, Powell, Eider, and Pisgah. Also Rosalie in there. That's the one we've been tracking. And then that shower over here east of Florence is just dying out. That's what's been happening the last couple of days with that. That storm may not, that probably won't impact Albertville. The front may not get here until tomorrow. And we're going to go through the latest guidance here in just a second. But that's kind of the challenge. Is initially the front was coming through late this morning, and then it got hung up, I guess. There's the problem with fronts this time of year, it's hard to get them down here in the first place. All right, let's get the model data here. Let me show you that. Let's edit this. Actually, I'll let you guys see the I will route the radar so you can see that at least while I'm updating the other data. Going to get into, let's see, Saturday. And the challenge with model data is, man, when it's wrong, and it's tough this time of year. Wow. I'll show you, I mean, this model has nothing, even for right now. So let me switch over to the HRRR model. Surely it's not blank. All right. Okay, this makes more sense. Okay, let me switch back, show you that one. Yeah, that was the one from last night. So here's the model guidance, basically 4 o'clock. I think it's probably got a pretty good handle on what's going on right now, although it's probably an hour off. But hey, it's got something. Notice how it has a little bit more activity behind it here by 5, 6 o'clock. That will probably die out because it's running into this cool pool of air left over by the storm. So if you got plans over here in DeKalb, Marshall, Jackson County, I know it's storming now, but I think most of this activity should be out of there by 6:30. Excuse me, outside of an isolated shower storm. And then overnight tonight, very early, here's about 11, 12 o'clock tonight. Another complex tries to come in and then just dies. And then as we go through Sunday morning, 7 a.m., quiet, hot, muggy, wind switches to the west, and here comes the front. Northwest wind by noon. But according to this, let me go ahead and save this. I believe what we're going to see is the Sunday activity down south. So here comes Sunday. See that? That's where it basically throws down the thunderstorms tomorrow. So from Birmingham south to Auburn. So having said that, let's go back and let's change to another model here. I'm going to go to the HRRR, as I mentioned. That's the graph model there. And we will go composite. All right, so here is what it has at 4 o'clock. Whoops, I didn't set my view. All right, so it has us, it still has some activity around 6:45 or so, but I think the other model I just showed you is probably going to be a little bit more accurate on that. Let's see what it does with this other stuff tonight. It doesn't bring it in here. And then as we get into tomorrow, everything's fire south. It just has it in a slightly different spot. So overall, I think what we have now is going to clear the area by about 6 or 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow, most of the activity should be south. I think if we have any chance tomorrow, it's going to be in the morning hours. And then I don't know where the Huntsville utility outage map is. Let me get you back to radar. It's just on there. Let me see if I can paste that in here. It is in there. Yeah, Boaz getting skipped. So Huntsville utility power outage, I just there's about 1,200 customers. Active outages, it says 13. I don't know if that's a number of them. Yeah, I think that's 13 dots there. So there's basically 1,200 customers maybe without power is what that looks like. No, Cassandra, this is just a typical summertime weather pattern where we get these storms that fire up with the heating of the day. And once they get going, they start chain reactions, basically. Little cell over here northeast of Athens trying to flare back up. We'll see what happens to it. I believe that's Highway 255, 251. It's going to be out there by Pro-Align off Capshaw Road. North of there, Mooresville, Nick Davis Road. Just east of Lindsay Lane now. North of, right around the Publix, Buffalo Wild Wings over there. East side of Athens. Okay, and then out west, just nothing. And this storm here near Morgan City is almost stationary. All right, I'm just going to kind of look at a few other things here. It's about 4 o'clock, about 15 minutes to 4. No, we can't talk snow yet. Okay, yeah, this is from the Weather Service, and that's kind of good reason here. It says, since we've already been at this for a while now, we're holding off on severe thunderstorm watch for our counties. Eastern counties are going to be pretty worked over after this current round of storms, and confidence is low that any storms that form west of I-65 into the evening will be severe. Yeah, that and the line's almost out of the state. I mean, it'd be probably the shortest severe thunderstorm watch ever. All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go. Get back to your weekend plans. Again, we've got a 48 First Alert weather app that'll give you those lightning alerts, severe weather alerts. I think this is about over. This is about to cross, at least the severe threat aspect of it, about to cross I-59 and into Georgia. There's still some pulsing up of thunderstorms behind this, but I don't think it's going to last as long as it did yesterday. I see Guntersville behind me clearing out there already. But you cleared out a few times yesterday in Guntersville and then got whacked again with more thunderstorms. I'll be coming up here along with Nolan Crane at 5 and 6, and then again at 10 o'clock. But again, I'll update you on that forecast right now. Looks like the worst of the weather for today may be over, but it all depends, right? If you live in Fort Payne, the worst may be yet to come. The storms are moving in to Fort Payne right now. Put that up behind me here. So what we're going to have here in Fort Payne is very heavy rain and strong gusty winds coming in. In fact, the winds are picking up just a little bit. So I'll stay with this a little bit longer here as this goes through Fort Payne. I don't have anything else to do, right? It's a Saturday. So the wind's picking up, make it a severe thunderstorm warning for Fort Payne for that part of the storm. So let me show it to you full. Anytime you start to get those pink areas, those are winds approaching 50 miles an hour. And again, it's Doppler radar, so it's just radar indicated. We don't really know exactly what's going on at the ground level there. But again, this is moving into Fort Payne, the Pine Ridge area just south of Fife where the lightning's been intense, and Shiloh. Rainsville, you're going to start clearing out here in just a little bit, but it's going to be very, very muggy over there. See if I have no more messages. Haven't had any. The only damage reports we have had have been that happened around 2:30 or so in southeast Madison County from New Hope to Owens Crossroads, that area there. Yeah, good direction. Go to your web browser, type in Huntsville Utilities outage map. Okay. All right, somebody wants to know, how's it looking for the concert tonight? I think it's going to be okay for the concert. I think, I think that's at Orion, the Foreigner concert. Is it Foreigner and Journey? But, there are these little spotty showers that may pop up. And summertime storms are unpredictable, I'll just say that. All right, so got that question answered. Yeah, there's this mysterious cloud. I can't figure out what it is. It almost looks like it was a rocket launch. But I can't figure it out. Anyway. You're welcome, Sean. Always good to see you at those car shows. I know the weather threatened a few car shows today, that's for sure. All right, let's go back into Fort Payne, see if anything's changed with that storm. Still some strong gusty winds coming in. About to move over I-59 right now. But overall, the severe weather threat's slowly starting to wind down across the area. And these have been really kind of pulse-type storms, we call them, where they flare up and then they collapse. And that's when they create the problems out there. There's the latest update. So strong gusty winds. I wouldn't be surprised here if you have this low-lying cloud that stretches all along I-59, this shelf cloud that moves east towards Wuest Lake. Someone on Wuest Lake, they probably, let's give you a storm track here to let you know when this is going to be moving in. Got someone out on a boat here, probably need to be getting in. Because as this line, I'll give it about 30 mile an hour. So this is going to be in the center area, around 425. That's right in the middle of Wuest Lake. So they need to be getting off Wuest Lake just because the lightning's picking up and it's likely going to intensify as this crosses I-59 and kind of goes over the other side of Lookout Mountain. I would expect this to probably intensify as it hits Wuest Lake. So you may want to screenshot that and send it to your friends if they're down there. I'll pause it. So again, this is in the Crossville area, Dogtown, Fort Payne, east of Rainsville. Rainsville, I think you're going to have a quiet rest of the evening outside of an isolated shower, thunder shower. The worst of the weather's over. Severe thunderstorm warnings are going to probably be expired up here. Down here in Aniana. Sneed, south of Holly Pond, I'll loop that. And just some general thunderstorms here in southern Marshall County. The more intense weather's down into Blount County, south of Sneed. And that is moving towards Gadsden. So let me put a track on here for you with that. Going to be moving into Reese City around 426, Atala at 427, and Gadsden 438. Check the weather service again. Got a tree down in the 3000 block of Alabama Highway 73 in Bryant, Alabama. Jackson County EMA, Joshua over there doing a good job of updating us on the conditions in Marshall County, Jackson County today. Power outage map in the Huntsville Utilities area. Still showing about 1,200 customers. Got some up, looks like a Green Mountain, 56 customers. And then we've got, you get out Hazel Green, there's 621 customers affected in the Hazel Green area. Good map by Huntsville Utilities, by the way. And some of the bigger power outage areas, are down here. There's 464. This is going to be the Hobbs Island Road, north of Hobbs Island Road, probably just on the south side of Green Mountain. Hobbs Island Road affected 22 people. That's where the wind damage has been reported there. And then a number of outages as you get down here. Governor's Drive, Cecil Ashburn's of Jones Valley. There's power outages reported there too. Is Colbert County getting any storms today? Man, it's not looking too promising. I mean, it's all kind of junk, so to speak, over here. And the pattern doesn't look too favorable. Again, let's go back and look at, let me find my model guidance. Here's the model guidance. So this all, we're starting to already see this isolated area here for the metro area behind the main line. And that's just going to continue to fade away. So by, I would say probably 6:30, most of us will be rain-free. Nothing in Colbert County, and even you get skipped overnight with that weakening area. And then tomorrow, a lot of us it just dives south. So I don't see a whole lot of rain in the shoals. Not looking good. All right, rain and thunder picking up back in Bryant. Yeah. Somebody questioning the hazel green. Yeah, there may have been a lightning strike out there. I'm not sure. So back in one last radar look here as we approach 4 o'clock. We're seeing a uniform lining up of these showers and thunderstorms. They did put a severe thunderstorm warning out there for Fort Payne. Thought that might be coming. That line, again, that line is intensifying as it moves towards Wuest Lake. It's going to impact Wuest Lake for about an hour and a half. By about 7 o'clock, should be all clear down there. There's our strong gusty winds. Now, on the east side of Fort Payne, the worst of this thunderstorm is right along I-59, and the highest wind is east of there. Athens, you've got a few areas of rain. As far as Gadsden goes, yeah, on the north side of Gadsden, this just continues to develop. There's likely a boundary right in here this stuff's firing on. And it's likely going to intensify. That thunderstorm's going up pretty quick there near Reese City. So as you get south of Mountain Borough, that's what you kind of look for. The lightning's going to pick up. And then you've got this other thunderstorm southwest of Sneed. So I think over the next 45 minutes, you're going to have a pretty big thunderstorm over Gadsden. All right, I'm going to check out. Again, newscast coming up at 5 o'clock, and I don't see anything of significance or widespread damage happening with the storms outside of the lightning and heavy rain. Again, this is on the way out, so the rest of your evening, especially as you get past 6:30, 7 o'clock, should be quiet. So I wouldn't cancel any of those evening plans, of course, unless you now have something else you have to do, like clean up after the storms have moved through. But thanks for tuning in on this Saturday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Brad Travis. I'll have that forecast at 5 and 6 on WFF 48 News. Don't forget, don't get caught off guard. You can download our 48 First Alert weather app. Saw a few people that obviously didn't have the weather app today driving around with the top down and things like that. So, again, take care, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.